Great. And again, these recordings go up on YouTube just so that anyone in the VP3N who missed the meeting can watch it afterwards. Again, thank you all for being here this afternoon. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I do have some green on my gray shirt that says "Get outside," and there's a picture of a forest. But we have a very exciting presentation today from Tom Griffin at the Virginia Green Travel, and I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm excited to learn more about the organization. I've worked with Tom for months now on our expanded polystyrene phase out campaign, but I'm still really excited to hear about the organization and about the conference that's coming up at the end of this week. For anyone who's just joined, I'm going to put the link to the agenda in the chat again so that you can pull that up. But before we get into the presentation, I just have a few updates on the VP3N side. And is that we are trying to make communications with the VP3N a little more accessible and to what the group needs. So if you wouldn't mind, in the agenda, there's a link to a 3-question Google form. It just asks if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, if you see those posts, and if you visited VP3N website. We're thinking of consolidating some of these and maybe focusing more on a LinkedIn page, since that might be more conducive to what this group is all about. We're not really trying to share like outreach event or like information to the general public, because this is a professional network. So LinkedIn may be a good place for that. If you follow the LinkedIn page, we share posts in our network, marine debris related posts, and we can help expand reach there. So I just wanted to know if anyone had any thoughts on that initially. What kind of communications works for you? What do you want to see out of the VP3N? Feel free to put it in the chat as well. If there are no thoughts yet, feel free to mull on that.
Okay, wait, sorry. What was the question again? Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for the clarification. I was just asking what types of communications work, like online communications work for the network, because we have a Facebook and Instagram right now, but we're thinking over at Clean Virginia Waterways that that's not a conducive platform for like just communicating with a professional network. So we're thinking of focusing more on our LinkedIn page and ramping up efforts over there. But I just wanted to hear what type of online communication styles work best or would be of most interest to us all.
Okay.
I would think minimal would be my answer, which may not be a popular one, but I don't need another sort of newsletter or something. I look at this as a networking professional thing. So if I have a problem, it's a group I know I can reach out to. I know it's a meeting where we're going to come and share, victories and problems and challenges. So yeah, I mean, I didn't even know you guys had social media, because I don't think that makes sense for you all to try to manage that, because if you used it to promote our events, but the whole point of it is a professional networking group, then that doesn't really make sense, because we're in different localities and stuff like that. So the LinkedIn change makes sense to me to just focus on that.
Yeah, thank you. Don't worry about it being an unpopular opinion. That's kind of what that's what we're thinking as well. The first question in that Google form is, or maybe the second is, like, do you know we have Facebook and Instagram?
I did not.
Yeah, exactly. So we're trying to make this better for everyone involved in the network. Any other thoughts?
I mean, we struggle with the same thing. I mean, it's like, and if we were to actually do it well on all friggin' 4 platforms, I mean, it just takes up so much time. And the value of each is just sort of just have, like Kristen was saying there. It's like, okay, what is our focus? I mean, what are we trying to achieve with each one, versus just kind of, sharing and liking, but really, creating the posts themselves and the content is time consuming. So I think we just have to like be, on all, for all of our organizations, we just have to be efficient. I almost think that like we're kind of moving more to just LinkedIn ourselves, but to post things when people get certified and all that. But still, I just I don't feel like it really reaches the audience as well. And so and maybe, I'm a dinosaur with this stuff and just struggling to figure it out myself. But yeah, I would focus in on it, just let people know when it's coming directly, because it's a small group.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We struggle with this. I mean, we figured out on our Meta Business Suite, we can post across Facebook and Instagram kind of together, and LinkedIn is separate, but it still takes time. I feel like we rely more on just our email contacts and our listserv to get information out like directly to allied partners. I mean, we still have to post on social media, and we do, but do I feel like we get a lot of likes and we show up in people's feed? Yeah, I don't know. And you can pay to boost your post, but we haven't, done a lot of that either.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the responses we've gotten so far seem to be, even if they do follow us on those pages, the posts never show up. And that's why we're just like, it's not reaching anyone that we want to reach. So we might just focus more on LinkedIn. But if you have any other thoughts, feel free to put it in the chat or email me separately. I'll put my email in the chat for those of you who don't have it. And last question there is, does anyone visit the VP3N website? Flash, did you know we had one?
Well, I did, Joe, because you were our SAFE speaker last night.
Yes.
So I did. I shared it with our SAFE ambassadors.
Thanks, Christy.
Yeah, I had a specific reason too.
Yeah. So it is there because it has very specific information. But again, if we can combine that onto the Clean Virginia Waterways website, we might just do that as well. So yeah, if you can take that Google form, let us know your thoughts, and then email me if you have any other thoughts or suggestions, and we can make this valuable, make our communications valuable to everyone here in the network. We also have a monthly newsletter that's sent out about a week before VP3N meetings each month. So if you have any suggestions and if you want to rework that, I think it's pretty good. We get a good open and click rate. So I think the newsletter is a good way that we're communicating. But again, just let us know any thoughts you might have. And moving on in the agenda. Oh, speaking of the newsletter, we have recently, beginning of this year, maybe in the last few months, we've changed one of our sections to be more of a monthly messaging. And again, it's because we are a cohesive network, all talking about marine debris, plastic pollution. We don't need to be talking about like how to reduce plastic intake. We're working on a message, a standardized message for the month that we can all put out to our network, speaking of social media. So we can all put it out to our audiences. So the last few months have been about the foam phase out. And I'm drawing a blank on what we just did last week. But if you have a campaign, a graphic, an article you just published, something that you think would be valuable to Virginians that you want people to push out, let us know. Also send that to virginiappn@gmail.com or to me. My email is in the chat, and we can get that in the newsletter. We can start to compile these resources and messages to start sharing widely. Also with the VP3N, we have two work groups. One is on helping businesses phase out expanded polystyrene or foams that's being banned July 1st of this year. If you have any interest in that, you can reach out for the calendar invite. And then if you have the capacity or have some good connections with businesses and restaurants and food retailers who would like to learn more about sustainable products or need help getting rid of foam or just want to share the message with their consumers, we do have our foam phase out website on the Clean Virginia Waterways website, or webpage on the website. It has a ton of resources, including a virtual toolkit through Google Drive with digital templates, downloadable designs to share on menus or websites. And it's all about waste reduction, and consumer education. So please feel free to share out that website and those resources. And then if you have any questions, again, always let me know. And our second work group is on expanding plastic bag fees across the state. Each city and county is allowed to pass that ordinance to put a 5-cent fee in plastic grocery bags. That is one of our better tools at the moment to reducing that type of plastic waste. So if you have any interest in that as well, reach out and I can get you on the calendar invite. Green Virginia Waterways is also becoming the first chapter of Balloon Mission, which is bent on recycling balloons. And while we're still focusing on just not using balloons in the first place, with things like preventballoonlitter.org, it's a multifaceted approach. And so if people do use balloons, we want them to dispose properly in recycle bins. So if you would like to host, sponsor, or manage a balloon recycling bin, there's a link to sign up for it in the chat, or sorry, in the agenda, which is in the chat. And you can let us know if you have any interest in that. And lastly, we are still underway with the 2026-2030 Virginia Marine Debris Reduction Plan. The link to that is in the agenda as well. So if you think many of you on this call have signed up for actions already, so thank you so much. We're really excited to get this rolled out. We're currently working on just the fine tuning, like copy editing and the bibliography out. So yeah, I think a lot of you signed up. So thank you for that. But if you want to share those draft actions out to your network as well and get people to you think would be interested in it to sign on to actions, feel free to do that as well. And now that I've taken up some time, I just want to turn it over to everyone else. Is there any updates from you that you'd like to share? Any events that are happening? Any questions about marine debris you'd like advice on?
Hey, Joe, the Mid-Atlantic Regional Council on the Ocean, Marco, is holding their annual Mid-Atlantic Ocean Forum here in Virginia Beach at the Convention Center. And it is May, I believe, May 4th through 6th. And it's all things ocean, but it will include some marine debris. And I will put plastic pollution. Put the link in the chat for that.
Thank you, Christina.
Joe, I just wanted to go back for a minute. I think that I think it's the LinkedIn, thought about putting VP3N on that. I think is a good idea, as opposed to the other social media. I think it's great, and this forum needs to, and the members need to be involved with policy issues as you are already, and maybe even more so, and with the coordinating about those issues with the professional network that we have going here. So that's just kind of my thoughts on where VP3N should go.
Thank you, April. Writing that down in the agenda.
I would just one grassroots comment is that I'm here in the city of Richmond, where the you have to buy plastic bags now, and so they're mostly definitely seeing a huge tick downward in their use in the grocery stores and things, and it's just very positive thing to, you could hear some of the people in the grocery stores complaining about a little bit, but everybody's got their bags after a couple of weeks. And so it's pretty exciting. Good work.
Awesome. Well, it does seem to be the trend when a plastic bag fee is passed. There's some grumbling and complaints, but it becomes a habit to bring your own bags. Well, good to hear. Any other updates?
Joseph, I've got some updates for the group if this would be a good time to share Earth Day related opportunity.
Absolutely.
All right, well, hello everybody. Evan Raskin, National Campaign Manager at earthday.org for those who don't know me. Happy to join the call today because we are just about 1 month out from Earth Day, and I know many members of the Virginia environmental community are planning some really great opportunities to engage the public in environmental volunteering, advocacy, or other ways of getting folks participatory within our movement. And of course, earthday.org being one of the key locations that people from across society go to find out what's happening for Earth Day, we want to make sure that all of the great work that you guys are planning is represented on our site so we can help assist with visibility and turnout. I will be sharing in the chat in a moment a registration link where if you're planning anything that you are looking for more visibility, more turnout, or more recognition for this coming April during Earth Month, we'd love to have it on our map. And if you're looking for a deeper level of collaboration, feel free to reach out to me. We're always looking for ways in which we can open up our platform to inspiring stories of how people are making an impact together. So I will be adding the relevant information in a moment. And of course, if any of you are planning a full calendar of events this April, volunteer activities, say a cleanup every weekend in April, or just other ways in which you're looking to get people involved on a more ongoing basis, feel free to reach out to me as well, and we'll be able to help you facilitate the upload to the map so you don't have to complete this form a whole bunch of times. All right, well, thank you. Just wanted to share.
Thanks, Evan. Can you list off your email real quick so I can type it into the notes?
Sure thing. That is raskin@earthday.org, and it's in the chat here for anybody interested.
Perfect. Thank you. And we've been putting the ad for, or the call to register your actions in our newsletter as well. So
awesome.
Or read our newsletter.
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. Yeah, we really appreciate it. We've got about 1 month to go, and it's exciting to see the Virginia community getting organized. Thanks again.
Yeah. And for anyone who wants to learn more about earthday.org, you can watch our old recording on our YouTube page from last September, just late last year when Evan was on. Yeah. All right. Any other updates real quick? Cool. Then, oh yeah, David? You gotta unmute yourself. Unmute, David. I see you talking. You'll always come off mute in a minute, or put something in the chat. Sorry, I see you talking.
Okay, is it working now?
Yes, there you go.
Oh, okay, good. So I'm in Newport News, Virginia. We do water quality checking on 27 sites around the peninsula. And now I work with the Tidewater Oyster Gardener Association too, up in the Middle Peninsula area. And we're looking at starting some more water quality checking up there. So I use the information from this to let other people know that different groups we have, like next Tuesday, we'll probably have 35 people there for training in water quality, and it's a chance to tell them about the latest legislation that's happening throughout Virginia and the plastic network, to let them know about marine debris and those kind of things that come up with y'all all the time. So this acts as a real good conduit of information for me, and I really appreciate it, trying to come to it every month. We're trying to push our stuff out there and make people aware of it through our network, and it's going pretty good. And we hope to start some more water quality testing up on the Middle Peninsula. So great opportunity at Tidewater Oyster Gardeners too. We're having all the oysters you could eat this Saturday, and we think we'll have 130 people there. So we'll be able to promote a bunch of things associated with the water. Thank you.
That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that that's a good source of information that you're sharing as well. Thank you so much. All right. Without further ado, I know Tom is super busy, so I'd like to pass the floor to Tom. All yours.
Well, thanks, Joe, and appreciate all the good work everybody does. And so I'm just going to, Joe asked me to just kind of give a quick primer on what we do with the Virginia Green Travel Alliance. And so I'm going to share my screen here and hope that it worked like it did before. How's that? Is there a picture of me in a green shirt?
Yep.
All right. That's probably a picture from about at least 10 years ago. So that was in the throes of working one of the many festivals and things that we worked on in the city of Richmond, and I think that was in conjunction with the World Cycling Championships that were here in 2015, which was really a game changer for the city of Richmond in that we were able to work with a budget to to really brand what this, the recycling and really take composting to all the festivals and events as well. And so, and that legacy, although it's not always done as well as we would like it to do, at least, it was something that has changed the landscape of things in our community. And I think that's really where we all live, is within our own communities. Yes, we run some statewide programs and assistance programs, but really we're looking together to piece these things together and create communities that are sustainably focused and that feel good, not only to us to live in, but when visitors come. And that's partially why we were created. In partnership with Virginia Tourism. So I'm just going to kind of run through what we are real quick. And again, Joe mentioned we're having a conference. Our annual conference is Thursday and Friday. We've got a slide on that. And of course, the other piece of this is that, we are working on the helping to promote the polystyrene ban. And so we've got Joe and Christina coming to our conference to talk about that. Because I'll give you a little bit more insight on that without stealing all the thunder. I've got a slide on that coming up. So here we are. And again, Travel Light is sort of our newish kind of rebrand, if you will, where we're trying to really reach out to consumers more. With the challenges of social media and all that, but we're trying to engage them and encourage them to make choices and encourage the businesses and restaurants that they support, whether they're traveling or at home. So that's we're really hoping that to get that, emphasize that even to our businesses that we work with, that there's just so much value in doing the right thing, but also getting some credit for it with your customers. All right, let me see if I can move forward. Didn't like me there so far. There we go. All right, everybody see somebody skiing? That's me. That's me out there on the slopes, swooshing around maybe 20 years ago before I broke my ankle. But anyhow, this is our Sustainability and Tourism Conference. We're at Massanutten this year. And, the theme is building a resilient tourism economy. Really neat agenda, I think. And then we're starting with the Commonwealth's Office of Resilience, where we have presentations then by Resilient Virginia. So we're kind of talking about what taking the policies and making them meaningful to communities. And then, we've got several panels on organizations, sustainability focused NGOs, JMU, what they're doing for us to be sustainable. And then it gets down to the brass tacks of, love the fact that we're having it at Massanutten, because from a climate change standpoint, they're the perfect example of a business that has had to pivot, completely. They've had to be resilient because of changes in climate, basically. I mean, they used to have a 4-month window of skiing, and now they have a 2-month. And so they've become, a year-round facility, but they've also really taken the opportunity to reinvest in solar, electric vehicles, high efficiency energy efficiency, snowmaking even. This is very cool. But we're going to kind of see all that, you know, at that level as well. So, all right. But the rest of who we are basically trying to be the state's program that encourages sustainable practices in the tourism industry. And I've been working on this for about 17 years. I love it because the tourism folks are good people, but they just don't have environmental managers. They don't have the expertise in-house to help them move forward, you know, and we're trying to give them that. We're trying to give them simple templates and resources so they can do that. Again, it's focused on community because we want folks to engage community and engage the visitors and local consumers as well. This is just our website, you know, our landing page here. It's virginiagreen.net, and it's kind of our resources. This is the nuts and bolts of the Virginia Green Travel Alliance, and I'm the executive director of the nonprofit that runs the partnership that feeds into. And this is the partnership, the core partners: Virginia Tourism, Virginia State Parks, the Department of Environmental Quality, and the Virginia Restaurant, Lodging, and Travel Association, which is interesting from the standpoint of polystyrene and other issues like that related to the hospitality industry. But you know, we have our certification program, we have recognition and awards, we got an annual conference, you know, technical assistance is provided, and so, you know, that's how we are organized. The core partners, lots of other supporting partners. These are our certification programs where we have reciprocal relationships. Like, for instance, the Pearl Business Program with Lynn Haven River Now. We have it set up so that, like, if somebody's in the hospitality space that they're working with, we hand them over, or they refer them to us. And if they're in the Lynn Haven River region, we basically refer to them back to the Pearl Business Program as well. So there are additional opportunities, and additional opportunities are so important locally. That's why these local and regional partners are important. And then, you know, again, we partner with lots of different folks, and certainly Clean Virginia Waterways is one of our core partners there. Keep Virginia Beautiful as well. Hi, Christy, on the call there. And so anyhow, we're trying to piece it all together, work with our partners to achieve something more and be as efficient and as productive as possible. This is the marketing arm of our program. And again, you know, I'm trying, it's smoke and mirrors, you know. You're looking at the only employee, have a little part-time assistants, but we partner with Virginia Tourism to be basically the marketing arm. And that's what they want, to have a strong green tourism program in Virginia. We are considered to be like one of the top state programs, but in terms of numbers of the folks that we've certified, there are 28 similar programs like this across the country. And so we, you know, I mean, we don't go around like going, we're the best, but we have, numbers wise, we've had several organizations recognize us for the work that we've done there. And of course, this is just sort of the landing page on their end. They want people to be able to plan your sustainable vacation in Virginia. And that kind of gets down to the local level too. Many of the localities have something similar. And so what we're doing is we're working individually with these companies. We're helping them get certified, but then we're basically trying to let the communities know that they exist, so that the communities then have something. They basically have their own green tourism programs, and they can build around it and expand upon it to add parks and other resources and things that they're working on. But you know, from the tourism standpoint, you know, we're helping them fill that space, and so that visitors to their town and people who live there know that there are these businesses that do care. The other major partner is the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality. They provide technical resources and oversight. Oh, there it says. So, but basically, they oversee our certification program. We administer it through the nonprofit day to day, but we review it every year to make sure that the resources and the technical guidance that we are putting into the certification program is relevant and accurate, and it's helpful. And they're always, and we work on various projects and things that are funded on their end, and we have a piece in it if there's if the hospitality industry is affected. Virginia State Parks, another major marketing branding resource for us, but we have certified and worked closely with them over the years to get all of their parks certified. They wouldn't have qualified all of them previously because they, the conservation ethic has always been there, but we do have some criteria in order to get our certification. And I'm glad to say that all of our parks, even though they struggle some with recycling, we have gotten them to a point where they are at least, making some great strides in energy and water conservation and other practices, and also have some sort of recycling opportunities in each of the parks. Again, this is, who we are, social media promotion and outreach. That's what we're trying to do as well. We like to work on staff level education. We have our conference and awards, but kind of the core thing is administering the Virginia Green Travel certification. So here it is. We have two different levels. One is the fully certified. I like to say that, LEED certification, it's all in there. But we don't have the bandwidth to do reporting and all the data collection and all that. We do some at the full certification level. And then we have the commitment level where we're really just that's our on-ramp. So we're trying to get folks to make the basic commitments in place. Let's move forward together. Let's move forward to becoming fully certified. Let's at least have some sort of sustainable management plan, green team in place for your facility so that you're periodically working on projects and getting better as you move forward. And that's really about all we can do with the net we're casting. I mean, I love getting in there and doing audits and assessments and things, and I still do some. And so that's some of the most meaningful work that we do. But when we're working with the entire industry, we really are just trying to give them some of the tools to move forward. And it's working over time. I mean, I'd like to see us do more for sure. But here are our requirements, just so you know: recycling and waste reduction. And there it is: polystyrene use, eliminate it. That's been one of our core requirements. So that's why it makes perfect sense for us to work with you guys from the very beginning. We didn't used to have the commitments to significantly reduce single-use plastics. That's what we've added as one of our core requirements now. And then, just some of the other things, sharing with consumers. They have to be able to check these boxes at the commitment level even, but then they have to tell us the details of what they're doing to get the full certification. I'm sorry, I'm just going real fast here. If anybody just wants to interrupt and ask a question, that's just fine as well, or otherwise we can do that sort of at the end. And I'm just going to run to the finish line. This is just some of our rebranded marketing materials. We used to be just called Virginia Green, but dang, that lawn company got big over time. We had that branded logo before they did, and so we've recently added travel in the last 3 or 4 years. Seems to be working out better. But you see that we're trying to show that there are green opportunities, green tourism opportunities wherever you go in the state. And this is the breadth of all the sectors. My goodness, I thought we were only working with hotels when I first signed up, when we came up with this program at DEQ, but Virginia Tourism said, no. If we're going to work on this together, it's got to be the entire industry, all these different sectors. To date, we have certified 1,970. Now, they're not all current, even on our website right now. But and a lot of these are the green events and festivals that kind of come and go. Those are kind of one-off. But we've worked with a lot of folks. We also have the other requirement is that every 2 years they have to recommit so that we can verify that their commitments are still in place, right? I mean, we need to know that they're still out there and that they're still doing good things and that they deserve our certification. That's hard to chase all those cats in order to make sure that everybody's still the same. Contacts are changing all the time, but we do our best to keep up with all of that. And just showing you here when they do get certified, they end up on our green business directory. And then, we have the different sectors here, and you can go look to see, who's in the different categories. And again, it shows up on the map where that might be. And and again, we're having our conference here. We do awards. We have our conference every year. This just shows the fun we have with our awards. We typically recognize about 20 to 25 of our greenest participants each year who apply for recognition. Also, some of we call them all-star awards of the people who are really out there being the green team leaders and things. But we try to go at kind of high level. Many times we get the first ladies of Virginia to be with us. Rita McClellaney there, and our Secretary of Natural Resources, Secretary of Natural and Historic Resources will be with us as well this coming week. Lots of other projects that we work on with DEQ, and it helps us bring in and certify more folks from different sectors. There's just the most recent project, a 2.5-year project that we worked on to work directly with and document the work that breweries are doing in Virginia. And so really, really fun project, learned a lot. This was kind of our celebration at the Virginia Brewers Conference in the fall. This is a neat project, net zero emissions. This is something that comes to us in partnership with Richmond Region, but we help them buy carbon offsets for the major conferences and conventions that come to the Richmond region, many times at the convention center, but oftentimes at some of the surrounding hotels and things. So that's pretty neat. We help them. I mean, we literally calculate through a national network, a broker, if you will, of carbon offsets, but certified carbon offsets, so that they basically can say that they haven't, net zero emissions. Many people who travel, but the conventions themselves are very concerned about, the carbon emissions that result from their, especially the air travel piece, and that's what we have helped offset. And this was the biggest one by far, a major purchase that we helped them make. We do webinars. We try and do that on a quarterly basis. With various topics. And here's the phone-free piece that we're working hard to launch, and we will be featuring again at our conference. And again, our folks are phone-free, so we're getting that message to them and trying to get the stickers in the windows, but also really trying to crank it out front with some social media and hopefully getting some traction with these individual businesses. If we can get the businesses, not top down, but the businesses themselves to talk about the fact that they are proud to be phone free. And another huge thing, we've had a big year. So we put on we're the beneficiary of the Virginia Wine Expo. Really, everything's hard the first time you do it, but we were able to bring in, out of the 45 distilleries and wineries, we certified 26. So there was a pretty neat process, and a bit of a fundraiser, but also great just to be out there. And you see, look, there's the phone free stuff is in there too. Oh, wait, hold on. Look, oh, you can't see me a little bit. And I'm sorry, the sun is coming in here, but here's one of the signs. It says, "Boo, foam containers. Proud to be a phone free business." Sorry. People are having fun with that. And so that's really it. We're just looking to, these are our goals for the coming year. One thing that's not on there, I'd like to see us get back into events more. That used to be kind of a cornerstone of what we used to do before. And I'm not volunteering to do them anymore like we used to, but really to get more people to certify their events. You like the fact that the sun is coming through right now? I kind of forget, between 2 and 3, don't put on presentations because I cannot figure out how to chase the sun out of my office. All right, so that is basically it. And, that was a speed date, I know, and a lot, but, I need to learn not to put as much out there, and people can come up with good ideas, and I can have the answers in my pocket, and instead I give all the answers. So Anybody have any questions about our program or how we might work together more readily in the future? There we go. Oh, still getting to me.
Well, thank you, Tom. That was a great presentation. Sorry, I had to switch to my phone because I think my computer overheated. So,
Ooh.
but you all stayed in the meeting. That's the important part. But yes, thank you very much, Tom, for being here and for that presentation. I had a quick question on the wording, I guess, of the program. What is the difference between Virginia Green Travel and the Virginia Green Travel Alliance?
The Alliance is the 501c3 that administers the program. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Virginia Green Travel is the name of the program, the partnership that basically was invented, if you will, created when I was still at the Department of Environmental Quality. And then over time, it was decided by the core partners that we really should shift this into a 501c3 that can, raise some money on its own and do more things that, when you're at DEQ, there are levels and levels, and we still, I'm a trained, government worker myself, so I'm pretty careful. But when we were at DEQ, I remember before we launched any campaign, there were layers and layers of oversight, and so we think that we're pretty more efficient this way. And so, and then again, that's what we're trying to do is achieve a lot with a little. So.
Definitely. And what was the inspiration for forming Virginia Green Travel? Are there other similar state programs, or do you know if Virginia is like the only one in the region who has this kind of program?
There are 28, or there probably aren't 28 anymore, because this was a big push by EPA to work with hospitality about 15 to 20 years ago, just because of the awareness that the aggregate waste from the tourism industry was so significant, and that they wanted to create these programs within the offices of pollution prevention, which is still kind of an EPA function that strives to find non-regulatory solutions to environmental issues. So finding things that hopefully save money at the same time, and that really from a regulatory standpoint, there are lots of regulations that apply to a restaurant and things like that, but not too many that are going to require them to, except for some localities and things, and except for the good work that programs like this are doing. But that we were going to create recognition programs. It comes out of the same offices that, like, WasteWise, Energy Star, Energy Water Sense, all these voluntary initiatives that provide some level of recognition and technical assistance to help folks move the bar on their own, and hopefully by not being forced to do it by regulation in a certain way, figure out how to reduce their environmental impacts over time more efficiently, and hopefully even save money when it comes down to it. If you're reducing the level of waste services and energy and water, you're going to save money.
Yeah, it's all a great program. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Feel free to come off mute and ask, or put it in the chat.
I don't have a question, but I just want to throw out the accolades for this program. I am a board member, just full disclosure, for Virginia Green. And I just totally geek out when I go into a restaurant and I see the Virginia Green logo, because then I know I'm not going to get foam. And I know that there's, just everything that they're doing in there is above and beyond what a lot of restaurants are doing. And I've seen that placard not just in Virginia Beach, but around Virginia over the years. I was at I think the Virginia Aquarium was the first Virginia Green what is it, a venue or visitors type area. And then Crocs, one of my favorite restaurants back in the day, was the first Virginia Green certified restaurant. Good friend Laura, who kind of spearheaded that effort, and she's all things green. She's amazing, but it's just been a very efficient, effective, and great program to be involved in. And you know, I would definitely push it out there to your favorite restaurants that this exists and that they should sign up and become certified.
Well, thank you, Christina. Yeah, and again, we try and sell that, and I think I guess we mentioned Laura in Virginia Beach. I mean, Laura was just somebody who saw the merit of the program right away and said, "This is run by the state. Why aren't we taking advantage of this? Why aren't all my restaurants in the Restaurant Association, the Hotel Association doing this? I mean, this makes perfect sense." And then, you know, they basically embraced it and began branding Virginia Beach, rebranding Virginia Beach, because it was not, you know, it did not have the reputation of being a sustainable community. But, you know, and still, you know, it's always a challenge to continue doing that. But they kind of used our program to build a brand that was, you know, more sustainably focused. I want everybody to do it. Steal it. Take it. Local green chapters.
Definitely. And it plays back to the part about acting statewide, but helping with regional or local initiatives.
Right. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
I'm going to pop off because I've got still trying to sign people up for confirm their reservations for Thursday.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks a lot.
See you Thursday.
Thank you.
Right, bye now. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. See you next month.